talk about should the Lions overhaul Ben Johnson offense. Now we hear Dan Campbell said they want to keep the same lingo, and pretty much, they want to keep the offense, they want to keep the offense the same, but for the most part, is that a good idea? Ben Johnson being in the division. And also, some people got some other issues with some of the play calls, the trick plays, and my thing is this about the trick plays. It was creative. It keep these guys, on their toes. It keep it fun, engaged. I have no issue with the trick plays at all. I have no issue with it. It's fun. It's just like any other play. You can do a 22 toss, and it can go bad. He can literally fumble or the toss doesn't work, so it doesn't matter, But as far as, some of the things they could change, because, John Morton, he was there when they was installing this offense, and this offense was installed completely around Jared Goff. But, I just like to see them just get back to basics. It's just running the football, play action, and then, whatever else in the passing game works for been working for the Detroit Lions. I love to see them kind of just run the ball with more aggressiveness and more power and really get downhill, and be more committed to the run. But as far as the language and all that type of stuff, and Ben Johnson, kind of knowing the lingo and stuff, it's interesting. We see kind of, in Chicago, we know how he thinks too, so it's a two-way street. And everybody usually points to that Super Bowl with the Bucs and the Raiders, where, John Gruden, for the most part, knew everything that the Raiders was going to run. And one of the greatest defenses in history, that Tampa Bay defense that year, 2000-something. It made it too easy for them. It gave us one of the, lopsided Super Bowls like we've seen this year. But, yeah, if they're going to overhaul anything with the offense, I would just say, just running the football. I like to see them run with more power, more creativity in the run game, more consistency in the run game, but everything else, a little bit more play action. I think they got away with that this year a little bit. But maybe the league played it a lot better. But as far as rehauling the lingo and the trick plays, I like to see them keep some of that stuff in there. The language. The language is the language. John Morton, he ain't bringing David Shaw in for no reason. They're going to come in there and they're going to bring some things that they like to do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to bring some things that they like to do in there. So it's not going to be the same offense. They're going to change some words. They're going to add some things. They're going to bring some things they did in Denver. But for the most part, they're going to keep a lot of things they did and already. And that's what Dan Campbell wants, And I think it was a huge shock that they didn't go with Tanner Engelstrain. But, for the most part, you got to interview people. Maybe John Morton blew them away in the interview. So, I think it's going to be interesting. But I think he's going to imprint it. It's one thing to know the language, and it's one thing to help install plays, but it's another thing to actually call plays and call them into situations. A lot of times, the easiest part is the first 10 to 20 plays are scripted. And after that, you customizing the game plan of what you're doing in the situation and down in distance and all that type of stuff, right? So yeah, to me, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Real talk, it's going to be very interesting to see how they call it, what's different, what they tweak, what's going to be the improvement, what's going to be, and they sit down with Goff, and maybe something that Goff and Ben Johnson agree on, and they took it out, that John Morton will. The first thing they probably going to do is just go through the Lions offensive, film, go through it and, see what works, but they're not going to just say, hey, look here, fuck all that, do this. No, that's Dan Campbell said he didn't want that. You want to keep the system in place. David Shaw and John Morton are going to tweak some things in there. They're going to probably do more than tweak, but it won't be an overhaul. So I don't think you're worried about Ben Johnson and him knowing the plays and all that type of stuff. Obviously, he's going to use that to his advantage. But I think they'll tweak the lingo, they'll tweak the audibles, they'll tweak some of the verbiage at the line of scrimmage, and that changes on a year-by-year basis. They'll tweak a lot of different things. You know? You'll see some things, just some philosophies may change. You know, they look at, in today's day and age, they look at all those numbers. If we running the ball more than we throwing it, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, and we're more successful with that balance, then guess what? We want to go into the ball. We want to go into the game with the mindset we gonna run it. But guess what? If your defense is giving up a bunch of points in the scenario, you know, guess what? We might have to get into a shootout and throw it. So I don't know what they you know, more gonna bring. Is it gonna be more screens? You know, is it gonna be more power run game? Is it gonna be more of a complex passing game? So it's gonna be interesting, you know. And they talk about what they, you know, did in with Bo Nix. But one thing I like about Sean Payton and what they didn't do in Denver was they wasn't able to run the football. So Sean Payton probably can go out there and find him a running back that can run the football. That brother they had from North Carolina, he just really never recovered from that knee surgery. Javonte Williams, whatever his name, he never really recovered from that. So, but all in all, yeah, you know, I think, you know, he's gonna have an imprint, and he's gonna do some things. He's gonna do some things that's different. I can guarantee that he's going to do some things that's 100% different. You know, but it's pretty much just gonna be the same language. So I don't think because of Ben Johnson they gonna overhaul the language. You know, they're gonna do what they do. Remember when they leaked out the plays and the audibles on the board? Still worked on, you know, the teams that they play. You know, and everybody talk about how New England cheated back in the day. They've been, you know, recording practices. They've been cheating, stealing people's signs. That's you know, that whole thing happened at Michigan. That's a very, very prevalent thing. You know, that's a very prevalent thing in sports. You know. And of course, a lot of people not gonna come out and admit it. Like, yeah, we steal signs and we do this and we do. Nah, they're not gonna come out and admit that. But a lot of teams do it. You know, and it's sad when teams do it and they got success doing it. I mean, they suck. You know, they suck while stealing signs. That's crazy, right? They suck while stealing signs. How you stealing signs and you still losing? So yeah, man, I don't think it's gonna be a huge over, but they're gonna have their own twist on it, and they're gonna be under a microscope. That's the crazy shit about it. They're gonna be under a microscope. They're gonna be under a microscope. So very interesting. You know, let me know what you girls and guys think. You got Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.